Y'all wanted to know how Act felt about the Pop Smoke thing. Remember, we reacted to Pop Smoke's killer going to No Jumper and doing an interview and them giving him the spotlight like he's a celebrity or something. Homie said he had a manager talking to him. I'm like, you got a manager for what? Nigga say he's thinking about rapping. You're not rapping. You was in jail for the last 5 years. What you got a manager for? For taking one of our legends in New York? That's what LA's doing now? When y'all take a legend from the East Coast, y'all niggas giving management now? This is what they doing out there? This is crazy. Because Keefy D's another one that was moving around like a celebrity later on in life after he started telling us that he was smoking pot and all that. I'm like, yo, this is wild. The world has really became today. People that we look up to musically, spiritually, maybe acting, we all have our different reasons on why we're supporters of that certain person. It comes along and takes them out of this world like Pop Smoke, so young, probably saw a lot of darkness in his life and finally gets to get there and he gets smoked. And now this nigga got a manager for it. Goes to No Jumper. No Jumper got a lot of pushback for it. Adam even talks about all the hate he got for the Pop Smoke interview.
Before he passed, and I had a huge amount of respect for him. I'm not ignorant to what a gigantic impact he had on New York City. And I have nothing but respect for him and definitely did not want to, enrage his friends or family. I actually wanted to do a piece of content that I thought they would be able to benefit from by having this conversation so that people could really understand what goes through the mind of somebody who's capable of doing something like that. I think if you watch the interview, it's pretty obvious that I wasn't glamorizing it and that I was trying to have, the tough conversation with him that I thought this situation warranted. I also think that a lot of people seem to think that I'm the first person who's ever interviewed a killer, which is completely not true. All kinds of people come to mind, but let's just go with the obvious example, Terrence Gangster Williams, who I had on, and everybody else in the podcasting world has had on. He says that he's killed over 40 people. And I haven't seen even one single person say that I shouldn't be interviewing him. And I think the reason why is pretty obvious. Pop Smoke, famous rapper, beloved. Who did Gangster Williams kill? 40 drug dealers / gang members that you and I don't know. So it's kind of hard to work up that empathy. But when you really look at it, O.J. Simpson did all these fucking interviews. I remember when Vlad took a lot of heat because he interviewed Keefy D, who was, it's an extremely analogous situation because Keefy D obviously was involved in one of the most famous murders of a beloved rapper of all time. And I thought that it was pretty impressive that Vlad stood on his principles and did that interview because it was an important story to be told. Just like No Plug, after he killed Bankroll Fresh, he went and did an interview with Vlad, and I thought that was incredibly important. I thought it was very brave of Vlad that he actually went through with it because that was an important interview in terms of us understanding that it wasn't like he just maliciously went and killed this dude. It was a shootout between two people who didn't get along. One person died. The person who died was the famous rapper, and so everybody died. The person who died was the famous rapper, and so everybody got on Vlad's case because he interviewed somebody that took somebody that they liked out of this world. But the truth is that interview corrected the record for a lot of people and let them know how that situation really went down. I also think that Pop Smoke or the Blockstar interview about Pop Smoke was important for that reason too. 50 Cent made a whole fucking documentary where he basically floated and lended credibility to the idea that Pop Smoke's friend Mike might have been involved in getting him knocked off. I think that interview was extremely important, just answering questions that Pop Smoke fans had. And I think that those same people, they watch that interview and they feel mad and they don't really know what to do with that anger. But the truth is that piece of content, if you're a Pop Smoke fan, is way more informative than anything else that has came out since he died. So to me, it was important to have that conversation. And I also I knew at that time that he was gonna go do the interview with somebody else if I didn't do it. So I felt like I was uniquely capable of having a fair conversation with somebody who may have done something horrible, but ultimately at the end of the day is a human being who came out of a fucked up environment. And I think that interview tells that story without glamorizing killing at all. I hope that nobody came away with that conclusion because that to me is pretty insane. Anyway, if you were offended by any of the clips you see, obviously probably 1,000 times as many people saw the clips as saw the full interview. I encourage you to go see it, not just because I want to get my numbers up, but because I think it's an important thing to do to understand what exactly we did when we did that interview. And also, I care about one thing. I care about one thing more than anything else, and that's feeding the streets, giving the streets what they want. What are the streets exactly? I mean, it's kind of a general term. I'm talking about like the people in the hoods. I'm talking about the gang members. I'm talking about the YouTube commenters. There's a lot of overlap. So what they want to see is really what I'm trying to bring to the table. So, you know, I see a lot of people who are kind of from outside the niche that I occupy who seem very upset about this. But I know that on my side of things, everybody that I know was incredibly excited to see that interview. It was like one of the most anticipated interviews of the year because people find it interesting. It's newsworthy, regardless of if you even were invested in Pop Smoke's story. Anyway, that's why I did it. I think I did a great job. I can't take anything away from myself. Me and Remo, we killed it. And
let's see what Ak had to say about this. Ak tight that he want to call the nigga on live stream. Let's see what Ak had to say about all this.
Here in the media, we got to take a little bit of accountability. Especially, let me tell you this. There's a lot of things that I did on the way coming up. You know, even certain, maybe even extremes I went, even with the war in Chirac. Like, I wasn't Akademiks now. I wasn't the guy in the position where you're on a handful of people who could shift any rap narrative. You're one of the biggest outlets. Now that I am, there's things it's about, okay, I could do this and just do it for the bag, and then it could be like, but you're already getting the bag. And you already are in the position to help control and mold how media affects this culture. Certain things you should be above, right? And again, you know, Adam's my peer, so I
agree with him on that. I agree with him. Like, we were screaming in the Chris Brown video, not all money is good money.
Down on it. You know, I wonder if he knows the repercussions of what he's doing, right? When you interview Pop Smoke's killer, you basically tell and signal to the entire clout chasing generation, if you murder someone, especially someone with a name, you have a platform. You murder, you rob, do anything violent to, you have a platform and a safe haven to possibly get another type of clout or career. I think that's a dangerous precedent, very dangerous precedent. You get what I'm saying?
I get what he's saying on that. He's saying, like, basically, if Adam's interviewing this dude for killing Pop Smoke, he's telling everybody now, anybody else violating, beating up rappers, shooting rappers, maybe went to jail for doing something violent to rappers even back in the day, you want to make a spin around and give us a story in hip-hop, you can come to No Jumper. A lot of other places and a lot of the media ain't gonna give you the starlight, but No Jumper is looking like it's a safe haven for that crime. Is it true? Is it not? We don't know that. But Ak's just saying that's the picture he's painting right now, which I can agree with that as well. And having the youth up there, this kid's like 21 years old. He went to jail at like 15, 16. Oh, he said 16. So you get me? You painting a picture right now for the youth. And
especially given the fact that what we do in media is predicated off covering these rappers' lives. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of have to draw that line, right? It becomes slightly even more egregious when you realize, I think the nigga got paid for it. You know what I mean? So it's like, the nigga killed somebody in hip-hop.
He got paid for the interview. That makes a lot of sense, too, because money was talked from him a couple times already. He pulled up to No Jumper and did a video like, oh, I'm outside. Where's my money at, his son? Like, he's about to get bread. I saw that they try to paint that like, oh, he's trying to scare No Jumper into paying him. Nah, I think we read into that wrong. I think he just posted it on some like, nigga, I came here to get some butter. Where's it at?
A beloved figure gets paid to tell the story on a hip hop platform, basically telling any random bum ass nigga, go rob, go shoot, go do anything to a rapper, and you will get a payday. Just bet you don't go to jail for too long, and you'll get a payday, guaranteed. Dangerous precedents. That's what.
Nah, Ak. I don't always agree with Ak. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't always agree with Ak, but this is one that I can't see how you do not agree with Ak. Spitting on this one. This is factual. Bro, you did something heinous, a crime that really just hurt a whole bunch of people, changed Pop Smoke's family forever because they had a ticket out and he ain't even stay in the game for that long. So, you know, they really had a ticket out of here. We don't know how big Pop Smoke was gonna get, but he was already blowing up super fast. Probably biggest artist I've seen in New York in a while. Making music with Travis already. That was a fire track. Pop was out of him to kill him for jewelry and a watch and just trying to break into a crib and just blaming it on you. That might be enough for you to forgive him or for you to be entertained throughout that whole interview. Like I told you, when I watched that interview, I watched it trying to get closure on Pop Smoke because we was just a huge supporter of him on this channel. You know, I love seeing the East Coast win. So I watched that thinking I'm gonna get some answers, and I feel like it's not even the answers that I wanted to get, nor is it just seemed weird watching it. Like it was just, I don't know, I could have lived with No Jumper never doing that. And it's probably one of those things that sound better on paper. You know, that sounds better on paper. And I see Adam saying he's not sure why. I think the reason a lot of people are mad is one, you paid him. Two, you went up there and paid him for what? He couldn't even talk about it because the people that he's dealing with are still in the case. We didn't really get enough answers about what really happened. So what's he up there for? What's he up there for? That's how we felt. It was like, what was the point? point? The interview was terrible. He couldn't really speak about much. So what was the point for him to tell us that he was a gang member early in LA? He was 15 when Pop died, and he was a gang member in LA. So I'm pretty sure we knew that he was banging from such a young age. That was something that was self-explanatory. Did I need him to go on No Jumper and get a payday to say that? No. And I can see what Ak is saying on this. But let me know down below. Do you agree? Or are you happy that Adam interviewed him and you happy the story that came out of it? I'm not super mad because he is media at the end of the day, and it's just really who gets the story. But like Ak said, when do we draw the line? When does ethics come into? And I gotta agree. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. We will be doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers.